Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Today's video is pretty exciting to me. It's the culmination of months and months of research, miles and miles of backpacking, climbing mountains, day trips, multiple day trips, doing a whole bunch of research into different companies to see what products they are able to provide, and I think I finally found for what I believe for me will be the ideal backpacking system. And when I say system, I mean, yes, a system. And I'm going to share that with you today. So the company I came across was KUIU. And they've taken the traditional hunting gear and tried to go lightweight with it. So for me, where I'm kind of stuck between a couple of different genres, and I tend to like a slightly more tactical looking bag, and then at the same time, where I'm into the backpacking and I like a lightweight bag, this to me was almost the perfect in-between, where now I have the best of both worlds with a stylish and slightly tactical looking bag. I mean, it's not crazy in the way of tactical, but it just has kind of that similar look to some of these other companies. But at the same time, now I get the lightweight benefits and an excellent carry system that's made for hauling heavy loads long distances. Now the bag I thought I'd start with is the Icon Pro 7200. This is a 7200 cubic inch bag, which is basically the equivalent of right around 117 liters. Now this is quite a large bag, but what you'll find is that even though it is a large capacity bag, it can be packed down quite small and made to a very reasonable size. And so for me to have all the available space that I need, but also be able to keep my my backpack in a nice tight configuration was actually a pretty good advantage to me. This particular model is made of a 500 denier Cordura fabric. It has nice YKK zippers, well-made zipper pulls, Duraflex buckles. There are compression straps all over this thing to allow you to cinch the bag down or add gear to the outside, keep everything right where you need it. This harness and suspension system is amazing for me. It's very well padded, has a nice generous lumbar, which I typically like, plenty of air and space for ventilation, a ton of options in terms of the size of the frame and also the hip belt, different sizes that you can buy so you can get it to really customize your fit. The suspension system is easily and quickly adjusted to fit your frame exactly how you need it. But there is one feature on this that for me was really the selling factor and the reason why I went with this bag. And I'll show you that real quick. So if you look at the frame, it basically extends from these load straps all the way down to the bottom. And you'll notice in there, it's a carbon fiber frame. Now there's been a lot of engineering and technology put into this frame to make sure that it was lightweight and stiff at the same time and capable of holding the entire load exactly where you need it, which is primarily on your hips, just a little bit on your shoulders and a little bit on your chest, and it does a really great job at doing that. And so for me, this carbon fiber frame system was really what sort of put this bag above all the others. Now this Icon Pro 7200 is considered to be a full-featured bag. It has all the bells and whistles, all the straps, all the connection points, slightly thicker fabric, has all the pockets and all the different organization that you'd need. But let's just say, for example, I wanted to go a little bit lighter. Well, the Icon Pro 7200 is roughly around 5 pounds, 13 ounces. It's certainly not heavy, but maybe you wouldn't consider that lightweight. Well, if that's the case, I can actually swap out this Icon Pro 7200 bag for the Ultralight 6000. Now obviously it's a slightly smaller bag, it's not 7200 cubic inches, it's only 6000, but at the same time, it's also lighter. So now I can get my system down to 3 pounds, 13 ounces. That's dropping a full 2 pounds off the bag alone, and still having a nice quality harness system that's able to carry a heavy load for a long distance and very comfortably. And even furthermore, if I find I'm doing activities that's basically just a day trip and I don't need a bag that's the size of either one of these, there are a number of other bags that I can get from KUIU that actually fit the same frame. So say, for example, the Icon Pro 1800 would be a perfect size bag for typical day in and day out use for a day trip, and certainly does not need the same sort of volume that I have here on these larger bags. And that becomes an advantage where I have a suspension system that's very comfortable for me, fits my body absolutely perfect, is an extreme tailored fit, carries the load real nice, and at the same time now I can basically just swap out a couple of different bags depending on exactly what I'm doing, and have a system that's completely customized and tailored to myself and the activities I'm trying to do. And now just covering some of the features on the 7200. You have two nice size pockets on the top of this head pack. Basically what I've done is put some of the items that I want to get to real easily and quickly in the top of the bag. And where this is such a generous space, it's very convenient, and you have the ability to use it for a whole bunch of different purposes. And for me, just to have the convenience of the things right in the top of the bag, this is an excellent feature. Now moving on, unclipping the head pack, it does swing back out of the way. You do have the ability to top load this bag if you want, and if you don't want to, you can basically clip this back together and keep this whole section nice and tight. There's a good amount of material here, so if you had to expand the load capability of this bag, you do have a whole bunch of extra real estate here to really gain a ton of extra gear. And that's one of the things I'm saying about this bag, where the 7200 is quite large, but at the same time, it doesn't necessarily have to be. For me, I like the ability to expand and have a different variety of things that I could put in here, and at the same time, keep it nice and tight for my typical hikes or typical uses. So that is definitely a nice feature and easy enough to compress it down and keep everything out of the way. Moving on, the front of this bag, there is another pocket here, and then inside an additional mesh pouch. Inside the mesh pouch you have a keeper. So this for me would be where if I went on a hike, I'd keep my wallet and my keys and stuff. I'd zip these up, keep them inside out of the way, and I found a nice spot for my glasses. So that'll fit in there just about perfect. Keep that nice and safe on the front of my bag where I can get to them quite easily. Moving on to the front pocket. Now right now I just have a few things in here, but if I do go backpacking with this, and I intend to, what I will do is I'll keep my food in here. So this for me will be a nice, easy, convenient place for me to get to my food super fast, get to it nice and easy on the trails, super accessible, and even at that, it's not mashed in with the rest of all my stuff. So this for me is a great pocket, and I will use it primarily to carry my food. Now continuing on to the side of the bag. Now both sides of this bag are identical, so I'll just cover one of the sides. But undoing the compression straps, you have a side pocket here that unzips all the way and opens nice and wide. It does have what appears to be a hole for hydration. I believe this goes through to the inside and allows you to carry a water bladder and then route the hose a couple of ways to get it to you. So it's very interesting, and in fact there is another way. If I look at the outside of this pocket, maybe to get your hose running out the side. So this would be the ability to carry a hydration bladder. This does appear to have a waterproof lining on it and some sort of a spray. And so I'm not 100% sure if this would be completely waterproof if you had a little puncture in your water bladder or whatever, but you could certainly use it for that. The other thing I've seen some guys do using it in a hunting scenario is basically zip their zippers part way and turn this into a sleeve that allows you to route something through it and put maybe the butt end of the rifle in this pocket here. You could probably do that with a tripod. You could probably do that with hiking poles. But for me right now, I haven't really thought about in too much detail what I'm going to do with these pockets, but just to note that there are very large, ample pockets on both sides of this bag. And then follow that up with a really suitable large size pocket on the bottom here. So this would be for your canteen, water bottle. Like I said, if you were using it maybe with a butt end of a rifle. I carried my tripod in here today and then used the compression straps to hold it in. So very versatile, and nice that these are large. One of the things that I did note though is that because they're so large, it does not hold the water bottle super tight. What I think I would like to see is maybe an accessory strap on the inside here that would allow you to, or you know, some sort of like a stretchy pocket in addition to this outer pocket that would allow you to put a smaller water bottle in there and hold it kind of tight. But other than that, I mean, definitely a great system on the side of the bag, capable of holding all kinds of different gear and for different purposes. Now, continuing on the outside and the front of the bag, there is this flap here that's held on with a couple of clips. This is pretty useful in regards to the ability maybe to carry a couple of things that may be a little bit wider. What I can see right away would be the ability to put your tent in here and sling this around and clip it up. If you wanted to carry your tent on the outside of the bag, I could see maybe having a foam pad. So if you were backpacking and you wanted to put, you know, your sleeping pad in there, I could see that working pretty nicely. I can also see if you wanted to put the butt end of a rifle in here and carry it up through these compression straps. For me, where I don't really hunt and I don't intend on carrying a rifle, I could see me using this to hold my axe. So I would put the head of the axe in here and then put the handle up through these straps. A lot of different things you could do with this. It's a pretty neat addition. Very simple in regards to just this little flap system on the bottom of this bag here, but definitely very versatile. There's even a couple of loops here if you wanted to put some bungee cords or shock cord to hold what you need to in place. So very nice little feature. And again, where this is like I was saying before, a full featured pack, you can see why some of these little extras are adding the weight, but at the same time, a ton of versatility. Now, getting into the inside of the pack, there is a large U-shaped zipper track that runs around the whole perimeter of the outside of this bag, which allows you to completely open this up to expose your gear. And that to me is a wonderful feature, one of the best features I like in a bag. And that's actually what turned me on to a lot of the Eberly stock bags, was the ability to do that. And where this KUIU bag did that, it was really a plus for me and a great selling point and a feature that I really enjoy. One of the unique features that you'll see here is this strap system on the inside of the bag. And that's pretty cool because you definitely have the ability to take some of your heaviest gear and hold it nice and tight and firm against your back, which is going to help keep the bag feel light and keep all these things secure and out of the way. So just for this example, I took my tent and I put it on the inside of the bag and I strapped it in here so you could see how that would fit. And for me, that's one of these features that, you know, I don't see a lot of people on the internet talking about that feature or necessarily how they use it. But for me, when I saw that and realized the potential, I knew that was going to be a great feature. And actually even more so, I mean, the more and more I use this and the more I get into it, the more I realize that the features on this bag are just absolutely perfect for the backpacking application. Now, there are additional mesh pockets on the inside of the bag. You see there's one on this side and one on this side. Now, these pockets are on the opposite side of the pockets that are on the outside of the bag. But you may notice that these outer pockets are gusseted, which allows them to expand towards the outside of the bag. So I feel as though that these inner pockets and outer pockets may not really interfere with each other. I guess at first I was kind of concerned that if I put stuff on the inside, that the outside pockets would be rendered kind of useless, or if I put stuff on the outside, that the inside would be rendered kind of useless, but I do not believe that is the case. And in fact, the more and more I look at it and the more I realize that these outer pockets being gusseted will actually allow the full benefit of both of these pockets to be used to their potential. And in addition to the pockets on the inner side of the bag, you also have 2 additional pockets on this outer flap. So again, a little more subdivided organization, the ease of being able to get to your stuff quickly. This clamshell design allowing the bag to be completely opened. Just excellent features, wonderfully done, incredible organization, and the ability to haul heavy loads long distances. Sounds like a pretty good setup to me. Now the bag fits really nice and comfortable. There's plenty of air and space behind my back to allow it to breathe. On these hip belts, quite easy. A forward pull belt design, which I like, makes it really easy to get this super tight. I mean, honestly, it's almost too tight, but at the same time, I mean, I can pretty much carry this bag without the straps. Almost all the weight of this load is on my hips. Simple sternum strap, and nice comfortable harness, comfortable shoulder straps. The other thing I like about this bag and the ability to actually tighten it up when it's not completely full and bulging out. If you look, it is a pretty tight, compact system. I mean, it's narrower than my body right now, which is really an advantage. So hiking through the woods or hiking in trails and trying to keep a slim profile, to me, it's really very suitable. And so even though, like I've been saying all along, this bag is larger than I typically would need for backpacking, I think it's an advantage to have the space. I have the ability to put my gear in here without completely cramming it in super tight. And if I had to, I could carry an overabundance of things if I really, really need to. You know, the other part of it is I do a lot of camping with my family. I have a young family, and so my kids can't really carry too much stuff, so I find I'm always carrying gear for them. So to have a little bit of extra space here and the ability to carry things for my family actually works out pretty well. So all right guys, there you have it. My new backpack system, built around KUIU, and in this particular case, the Icon Pro 7200. I'm pretty excited. You know, I'm really glad to have found this with all the research and all the different things I've tried out and different bags I've carried and things that have worked and haven't worked. To find something that's so ideal is really a breath of fresh air. And I'm looking forward now just to using this thing, getting out, hitting the trails, having a good summer next year, backpacking, and giving this thing some miles. So anyway, that was a real first quick look at this thing, and you'll be seeing a lot of this. So all right guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.